Hi, welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is Jansen. Today I'm going to be talking about dongles. Now, you probably hear the word dongles and you think this has been done to death. Well, there's just a couple of little things I want to cover today. The first thing being, if you've recently got into fish and you've started making your own rigs, perhaps you want to try making a dongle for the first time, where do you get your dongle material from? So most people would agree that a dongle braid of around 1mm in diameter is pretty much perfect. But the only way of getting hold of the stuff is to go to somewhere like Amazon and buy 300 yards on a big spool. And you know, it's a lot of money to spend that if you're only looking to make a few rigs. If you're obviously a rig maker and you're looking to make hundreds of rigs at a time, it's probably the way to go. It'll be the cheapest option. But if you just want to make a few rigs, what do you do? Well, luckily VMO is now stocking a 5-meter coil of dongle braid, and I'm going to show you how to make a dongle. So, Seadra Dongle Braid, 5 meters on a coil, nice thick braid. Now, as I say, the last thing you want to be doing if you're trying this for the first time is shelling out a lot of money on a big spool of heavy duty braid, which, let's be quite honest, you're not going to use it for anything else other than making a dongle. So let's get into this now. I'll show you how I go about making a dongle. So I make my dongles with a view to using the Gemini splashdown solo clip. So rather than putting a loop in the end, I tie on a specialist dongle clip. I believe this is a Cox and Rule one. So I'm just going to tie this on using the good old grinner knot. And because it's so heavy, you don't need loads of turns. 4 and 3 is ample. And as I've said many times now, not always easy when there's a camera tripod in the way. There we go, let's snug that down, that's fine. So, get the squeaky pliers, pop that on there, put it up nice and tight, no problem. So, there's our clip. Pair of sharp scissors. Just trim that tag end off. This braid really does take a bit of snipping, so good sharp pair of scissors are the order of the day. So before you even measure out your dongle, what I like to do, cut off an approximate length, okay? So you're only working with what you need in effect. So there we go, I'm going to just snip it off there. And all I'm going to do is make a series of overhand knots. 1, 2, 3. So you should have something that looks like that. So next I'm going to get my tape measure and I'm going to mark out 80mm. So there's my dongle cut down to size, 80mm, and I'd say 80mm is about right for a peeler crab bait. That's what I'm going to make this dongle for today, for a peeler crab bait. You could of course use a compact fish bait, you know, perhaps a section of sand eel, bit of squid wrapped around it. I do think that with the dongle rig, shorter baits are more effective. If you've got a long distance between your hook and the end of the bait, it's going to take longer for the fish to take the bait in, and there's greater potential for missing the bite. So all I'm going to do now is with this end, bring out the lighter, a little bit of heat. There we go, I just blob the end. So obviously the next part is to put the hook in. And the trick with this is to find the center of the weave of the braid and push your hook through like that. Now the blob will stop the braid from coming off of the hook. The breaking strain of this setup is actually incredibly high, and you can try all you like to try and snap that braid and put it off the hook. Even if I get the pliers on the hook, and give it a good pull. That's not coming off of there. Admittedly, I'm not Jeff Capes, but that's definitely not coming off. So there you go, there's your simple dongle setup, and you've still got that left to play with. So there you go, Seadra Dongle Braid is now available at Veal's mail order. You no longer have to spend over 20 quid on a great big spool of braid from China that you're only going to use for making dongles. Hope you enjoyed this video, I'll catch you again.